Greetings, this is Bradford Donald Keller Townsend, and this is a forward research report, a reply to a fellow YouTuber. He said he was concerned about the rise of the robots and the censorship of the internet. You don't need to concern yourself with censorship of the internet. The internet is unsustainable. It uses a huge amount of electricity. It requires a large infrastructure, cell phone towers, Ethernet cables, and such to transmit. And there just aren't enough natural resources just to replace the equipment, as it reaches its natural life cycle. So censoring it won't be around much longer. I can't put a date to this. Again, countries keep natural resource depletion state secrets. Countries, let's say Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, won't tell you how much oil they have left, or Brazil, how much iron ore they have left. Maybe some intelligence agencies, Rand Corporation, or the giant think tank in China with over 14,000 genius PhD types, they may have an estimate that could have a fairly large air to it. But be that as may, we know with absolute certainty, as we know more about the natural resource depletion than we do about death and taxes. Taxes are variable. Wealthy families, which I'm fortunately part of, old money Puritan people, several very wealthy members of my family, their estate tax will probably be taken away, making the inheritance of my cousins and other people in my family, they'll be thrilled. It'll be millions of dollars larger inheritance. So the taxes can change, including the death tax can go away. Lifespans have doubled in a little over 120 years. They've gone from 35 in what we call China now to 70-ish, I think. So death can vary hugely, more than doubling of life expectancy. Taxes can come and go, but resource depletion is coming. And there isn't enough resources to build out these robot workforces. They require rare earth minerals that are already constrained. Tesla and Apple can't build as many of their products as they'd like. They just can't get the raw materials. Those are two cutting edge, prestigious companies that everybody looks up to in the business world and admires, and that's their superstars. They're constrained. We're not going to have robots in our homes, and there's going to be no, there was a wonderful cartoon series when they still made cartoons in the United States, the Jetsons, where they had a robot maid and that would do the chores around the house, and George Jetson only had to push a button once in a while at work with his feet up on the table. All that is not going to be, no flying cars. That's not going to come to pass. We don't have the raw materials to build out this robot workforce. We don't have the raw materials to maintain the power grids, the water treatment in the wealthy world. We don't have the raw materials to build out water treatment plants and electrify Africa. So this is the end of the age. There's 25,000 man hours of labor in 1 barrel of oil. That's amazing. It's hard to comprehend. And we're using over 100 million barrels of petroleum a day for thousands of uses. And there's over 40 gallons using the British imperial system per barrel. So we're using, 40, or was it 4 billion plus gallons of petroleum a day. and that huge amount of labor that replaces. Well, that's all going away. Even uranium may have a shorter or does have a shorter span than coal. It will be depleted before the coal does. So we need to get back, think of the 1800s, maybe the 1870s, where, you have horses and wagons, except we'll know about mechanical physics, quantum mechanics, sophisticated chemistry, and we will have some substitutions. But it's too late. We needed to start like in the 1960s and 70s with rationing, like we were still in World War II, and huge amounts of the population working toward a sustainable future. And we've just had unregulated massive consumption, and role modeled that with the mass media, telling people in Saudi Arabia, in Brazil and all over that you need to have this 2 cars in a house, a 3-car garage, 4,000 square foot home if you're really going to make it, or just an unrealistic, unsustainable lifestyle. Instead of it was probably impossible. You would have needed a world government that was very authoritarian, probably had to use deadly force to keep resource depletion. So just like squirrels and deer and other creatures, and salmon, we're animals. I'm a materialistic, radical, skeptic, naturalist. I'm a nature lover, but I believe in subatomic particles on up is how you understand our existence, and we have to take what our 5 senses give us and the tools we can build, like telescopes and microscopes, to understand the world, and say we can be conscious and sane, and practically have a philosophy that helps surgeons trying to keep people with cancer alive, or people that need to build bridges and dams for water treatment plants, and hydroelectric, renewable, safe power, and not get into all this esoteric philosophy. If you do have a philosophy, it needs to be practical and help solve real world problems, like healthcare and energy, and how to get along peacefully and productively with one another. Well, I love people, and I'm putting myself out there. I'm putting out some unpleasant facts that are very disturbing. Most people have cognitive dissonance or denial. They'd rather live in a mirage, an illusion, to be self-deluded about the future. But there's a small, probably fraction of people that are interested in what's really going on. And having come from a family with 3 UN directors in it, Hernando, Allen, and Marcia, that were senior in the United Nations, and growing up hearing at the fishing and family dinners and camping about population and resources and things. I've had a whole lifetime to think about these things. I traveled around the world, and had all the sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, advanced calculus and statistics, and all those kind of courses that help me better understand the fundamentals. And I've been a real practitioner as a portfolio manager, stockbroker, real estate developer, where I have to make real world decisions, not just in academia, where it's just on paper. And then most academic papers or science is never really peer reviewed. It's just kind of proofread for spelling and some basic math errors, hoping those aren't there. Nobody has the time or money to really replicate experiments of others. They just have to keep publishing because there's 6 scientists or 7 for every teaching research position with a decent college or university. So they have to maintain the politically correct agenda, because they're easily replaced by another highly qualified candidate. Science is probably one of the most politically correct, controlled. I was disappointed. Mathematics is maybe one of the only places of intellectual liberty left. And resource depletion is a big no-no. You don't see very much about it. Um, I'm willing, as I'm lived a wonderful life, amazing. I'm willing to put myself out there and breach the topic and alert people to it. Thank you. Stay positive and have a wonderful day.